the spot. I got what it takes to get to the top. The money I make, these niggas cannot compete. They know that I'm getting a lot. She give me the twat. Give me that. It come to that pussy, I'm getting a lot. I know she a thought to give her a shot. I front from the back to the twist in my side. You know that I'm.
What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Joey, A.K.A. Mr. Made You Look. This is episode 16 of the Made You Listen podcast. My wonderful co-host, AD, go ahead.
Let's go. My name is Adrian, A.K.A. the Go to Solar, A.K.A. Mr. Made You Great. Today's episode is going to be super special. If you don't have your notebook out, then if you're not successful after this, it's on you. Right.
Yeah, so today we got somebody who I don't know too well at all. I don't know too much about. I just know he's got a cool story, interesting story. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to say. It sounds like he's had a crazy ride and is coming out on top. Without further ado, we got Walter King, A.K.A. the Property Plug.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
Pleasure.
Appreciate that. Let Adrian introduce, take the episode away, just kind of introduce us.
Right. No, I'm super excited to have you on, Walt. I had the blessing to, hit you up on social media, and, you were willing to get on a call with me, just take time out of your day to give me some value. So, again, I really appreciate you getting on. I think for the people that don't know you, there's a lot of stuff we want to touch on. But just to kind of set the foundation, for somebody that's watching this video, doesn't really understand your story, kind of what you've done. Because already within like 10 minutes of talking with you, it's like, all right, this is somebody I could really learn from. But like for the people that don't know you, who would you say like who you are, right? Like how'd you go from Walter King to the Property Plug?
So, who I am, that's a tough question. So I grew up in Providence. I grew up in South Providence, and one way, shape, or form or another, I've always been a hustler. From very young age, carrying groceries for dollars at Almax.
Wow.
Just the hustler, just anything to get a dollar. Unfortunately, where I grew up, that leads you down a path of, doing illegal things, especially at a young age.
Yep.
What people don't understand is there's no age requirement for selling drugs.
Right.
You have to be 16 years old to get a job. You can sell drugs at 12 years old, 13 years old. And it's actually easier because you missed the violence, you missed all the negativity, you're just a kid. And it's very easy to move around the neighborhood, everybody. And I started doing that at a very, very young age. A very young age.
Wow.
Yeah. But I've always been a hustler, one way or another. I've owned multiple businesses. I've owned car dealership, carpet cleaning business, nightclubs. I've been in real estate, had a staffing agency. I had a rim shop when I was younger. Yeah, ton of businesses.
Wow.
And 90% of them successful. One failure, the nightclub.
Wow,
Yeah.
the nightclub, yeah, and we'll get to touch on that, but that's,
Sure.
That's powerful, and, like me, in my specific background, I feel like, there were times I wasn't influenced by the right people, and it led me to just do the wrong things, and, I got to a point where, I almost lost my life. I got to a point where I was in training school for a little bit as well. And a lot of people don't know that these experiences actually like shape you to become who you actually need to become. And then even like, I don't condone drug dealing or anything like that, but, a lot of people that feel like they're in that situation and they're stuck. It's like, there's a lot of sales skills, there's a lot of indirect, legitimate skills that you're already applying there.
Absolutely.
That with the right mentorship or the right direction, could really change your life. So just if you want to touch on it briefly, because I know you mentioned, you kind of, I saw one of your earlier podcasts. You mentioned you were in and out of training school at a young age, and I know you just shared you kind of, you were dealing in certain activities per se, right? But how would you say like those experiences shaped you, right? Because like somebody like you, a lot of people might go through that and they might be able to come back.
So first of all, I grew up in foster care. I didn't grow up with my mother or my father. I grew up in foster care. Me and my brother and sister were adopted. We grew up in South Providence, and we were one of the only white families in a black neighborhood.
Wow.
So it made it very tricky to navigate through the neighborhood, and it wasn't your typical setting for growing up. You might have a black family in a white neighborhood, but to be a white family in a black neighborhood, it can be difficult at times. I felt the love and embrace. I felt everybody accepted us, so I didn't feel that way. But I was exposed to a lot of crime, which when you're young, it becomes normal to you. Your neighbors are on drugs, your neighbors are selling drugs. You don't realize it's illegal, right? Technically you know what it is, but it's normal. It's your normal life. So when you pick it up and you start doing it, you really, really don't have a moral compass as far as like what I'm doing wrong. You just know don't get caught. But you really don't realize the damage that you're doing, and you can't grasp the reality of what's happening.
Right.
This is just your normal life. Like I said, when I grew up in the West End, there was a lot of heroin use at that age.
Wow.
My neighbors, we would see needles in the streets. I had one neighbor that sold drugs and one neighbor that used drugs.
Wow.
So it was like right there. So we just learned from that. And at a very, very young age, some guy came to me and said, hey, I can give you this bag. And the bag had a bunch of little bags of cocaine in it. And
wow.
he said, I'll give you this and you give me back, sell these for 20 and you keep 5 off every bag.
Wow.
And that was it. If I sold 5 bags, I made $25. And $25 to a 12-year-old kid, that's like $1,000 right now.
Wow.
Back then, I mean, we're talking about, in the 80s.
Right. Wow. No, that's really like, for you to share that experience, that's powerful. Being in those situations, like one of my favorite quotes is starting from the bottom is not a deficit. Right. And I think it's important that a lot of people understand because, like without knowing you, they may assume like, and this is like not profiling you or anything, but like, all right, the super successful white guy, was he from Newport? Is he from Suitrid or something?
Absolutely.
Right. People naturally just profile people without actually knowing them.
For sure.
And then, or you may, that guy succeeded, I can't succeed, right? Mm-hmm. Because all these things are up against me. But until you actually have a conversation with somebody, understand their story. That's why we have this podcast. I love just talking to people because, whenever I feel like I'm going through something really tough, I get reminded of like somebody that overcame something even harder.
I'll tell you what I'm not is that guy from Newport. I went to the 7th grade in school.
Right.
Never graduated. I never even set foot in a high school in my life.
Wow.
I got kicked out of UCAP. I don't know if you guys know UCAP. I went to UCAP. And I got kicked out of UCAP, and that was the end of my academic career. I never went back to school. Never even completed the 7th grade. Went to training school, got kicked out of school in the training school.
Wow.
So I had ADHD at a very young age, but back then they didn't know what it was.
Wow.
And I had dyslexia, and even then it was still kind of an undiagnosed thing. So what I would do is when I would be in school and I would be forced to focus and learn, I would act out. I would tell jokes, I would do silly shit to get attention and then maybe get thrown out of class because I didn't want to be there. And that became like the template for my life. I did that all the time.
Wow.
And that's why I always ended up in trouble until I realized how to manage it, and I realized at a very young age, there's a lot of things in life I can't do. I got to get people to do these things for me that I can't do.
Right.
Whether it be pay them or manipulation, but one way or another, there's things I can't do. I got to find people that are going to do these for me, whether I ask them really nicely or pay them, you know what I mean?
Right.
And and I still to this day use that same philosophy. I pay people to read my contracts, have attorneys, I have my daughter who works for me who reads every single thing that I'm, all the language and all my contracts.
God bless her.
Yep. So anything that I don't want to do, I just pay people to do it.
Right.
I got my fault. I got a couple of questions. So you pay people, you're talking about doing the things that you don't want to do, you might necessarily not be the best at. Do you find in any other areas that I don't want to say lack of, but like your lack of education. Not saying you're not intelligent, you're not educated, but like the lack of education.
I cannot read or write.
Exactly. So like, do you find that, I guess, do you regret not finishing school or like
I don't think that I have the capabilities to finish. I tried to get my GED and I don't think that I have the ability to focus. The words jump around, and I think that my time is spent better other places. I can do so much better going down this direction with that time that it's gonna take me 2 years to get a GED.
Wow.
So you don't think that's held you back?
Not at all. No.
Wow.
You can't read.
I cannot read.
Like
so if you I can read a paragraph, but I use what's called word association.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So once the ball's rolling, but if you break the words up, I cannot read a sentence.
You space them out?
Space them out, I can't read it.
Wow.
And I couldn't, you could tell me a word 10 times and I still can't spell it for you. If you put $1 million on the table and it says spell congratulations, I would not have that $1 million. I swear to God.
Oh, that's
wow.
I care more about this than anything. So I want you to.
That is powerful.
So when I was young in school, I would get angry.
Right.
When I would have to be forced I would get frustrated when I'd be forced to do something. It wasn't until very, very like recently in life, maybe 7, 8 years ago, I embraced it and I just kind of like told them, because I never really told anybody. I was ashamed of it.
I believe it.
I remember when I opened up a nightclub in East Greenwich, and my initial investment in that club was $130,000, and we go into a room with a bunch of attorneys and these contracts, and I'm pretending to read the contracts. I have no idea what's going on.
Wow.
And I'm reading contingencies and this, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, just sign it, man. Like, I've made it this far, I'm gonna be all right. And I signed it. I mean, I did. There was no funny business,
right.
But I had no idea what I was reading that day. That was in 2012.
Wow.
Damn,
Yep.
I'm about to pit. So, I guess what's your view on education? Because obviously,
School is not for everybody.
Okay.
School is not for everybody. School was not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur. I've been in the streets my whole entire life, and I do no good in a classroom.
So what would you recommend though? Because you come from I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that share your story, but there's
Absolutely.
also a lot of people who don't. So people that, might be, I don't want to say lost or I think school, while it's not like you don't need school to survive or succeed, I think it gives people a level of discipline.
It does.
People who might not share the same disabilities as you, who don't get as frustrated because, you know what I mean? Like if they're more comfortable in a classroom setting, it might give them the structure or discipline they need to kind of organize their lives. So in that aspect, what would you recommend?
Your hunger will give you discipline. If you're hungry enough, you'll have that discipline.
For sure.
Yeah, your hunger will give you that drive. You won't need to have. You cannot force yourself to be disciplined. You know, and I knew at a very young age, I did not want to be where I'm at. I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. I don't want to be poor. I hate poverty. I hate it so much. I grew up in a. I wouldn't say that I grew up in poverty, but because I had friends that didn't have electricity. We had electricity, so I wouldn't say I grew up in poverty. But we didn't have money. We didn't have nice stuff. We went without.
You weren't rich.
No, not by no long shot whatsoever. No, we weren't rich at all. No.
Wow.
We were the typical family in a lower income neighborhood.
Yeah. Do you listen to audiobooks or anything like that?
I've never read a book in my life.
You don't even listen to them? Mm-mm. So I guess another question, because I'm
not advocating for that. I'm just saying me.
I'm just,
that's
I know,
powerful. This is inspiring.
Because a lot of people at your level of success, they share similar traits. You get up early, you go to the gym, you read, you know what I mean? A lot of that stuff, people, like you ask people on Kyle, people like that, like they share similar routines. And while everybody has, they personalize it to what best suits them. A lot of you guys check the same boxes, and reading seems to be, from what I've experienced or what I've listened to, is a big one.
Reading books to me is I don't want to sound, this is going to sound very ignorant and obnoxious, but reading books to me is kind of like one of those things that everybody, hey, have you read this book? Have you read Sun Tzu? You read all these books, but I don't see you doing any better.
Wow.
I don't see you doing any, I don't see you being any better than you was last year.
Right.
So maybe you feel better or maybe you are better, but I don't see anything better in your performance. You're not making any more money. You're not up earlier. So you're reading all these, but I'm not saying don't read books. I'm just saying I'd rather be out doing it than reading books.
Well, reading is one thing, but you got to apply.
Right.
That's it. You got to apply.
That's the more important part. You can, but like it's like I look at reading books as like talking to you right now. We're talking to somebody like you. You've just been alive a lot longer than I have.
So I'm talking to the person that cannot read and process a book.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But why? But even listening.
Because my attention span is not going to allow me to.
Oh, so you don't watch you can't watch podcasts?
I have never watched a podcast. I'll be honest with you. I'll watch a podcast
if it's yours.
No, I've never even watched one of mine. I'll watch a podcast if it's like something associated with finance or business, or current affairs, or like a 1090 Jake, like something interesting, like some street shit. I'll listen like a Vlad, I'll listen to that. But if it's not something that I really, really find interesting, if it's something that I don't really, really like, I'm checking out in a second.
Right.
It's the same as me reading.
So you only put your focus towards the things that you like, and that's where you pour all your energy. And I think that's good, because it's almost like you're hyper focused, you're a laser beam.
Yes.
So that's why you're able to perform at a high level where you pour your energy. But if we had to break it down for someone that's just trying to understand, what works when it comes to like internalizing information, and like, what's your favorite way? Is it like, I think you said taking action. Is it like through mentorship? Like, what would you say? Like, if you're trying to go learn something new, right? Like that you're interested in, what's like the avenue you're going to take to internalize that?
You would have to tell me what you were trying to learn. You know what I mean? What you're trying to learn. Because I never had a mentor when it came to real estate. I just said one day I'm going to do real estate. I took a big hit on a nightclub, and I said, I never want to lose this kind of money again. I got to do something with my life. Let me get into real estate, because real estate, you don't take hits like this. I lost $250,000 in a club.
Wow.
And I said to myself, I'm never going to take a hit like this in real estate. So, and at that point, I started just looking at real estate Instagrams and talking to people and doing this and figuring out, and then basically pretending I knew what was going on.
Right.
Even though I really didn't.
Right.
I've always been very well respected, and people like me. So, people would talk to me, and it took me 2 years to put my first deal together in real estate.
Wow.
And then after that, and I think I made like $5,000 on my first deal. And then after that, it was just like I recognized my worth and what I brought to the table. And every single deal after that just got better and better and better. because I started to have confidence in myself.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
But you were learning strictly through experience.
I've learned strict. Listen, this is gonna sound ignorant and obnoxious.
I don't think it does.
think mentors and your YouTube channels and the seminars and bullshit. I think it's all bullshit.
Also works for you. I don't think it sounds arrogant. I just think, like, to your point about school.
I'm gonna tell you as far as real estate goes.
Okay.
All these guys that are doing classes and seminars, they don't own no property. They're not doing any deals. I'm not
Right.
saying they haven't done a deal. I'm telling you that they're not actively doing deals every single day.
I think you might be looking at it from like a very specific type of person selling a course. Like, for example, if I've shadowed you for a year, I'm sure I would learn a lot and be successful.
I wouldn't be on YouTube selling it.
But that's my point. You're looking at the typical people who
Yes.
are pushing an agenda
Correct.
to sell a course.
Yes.
I think mentorship is it's key who's mentoring you.
Right.
If you would, again, I'm gonna say a lot of things, and it's from my own experience, and it's gonna sound,
No,
it's
yeah,
gonna
be
come
raw.
off obnoxious and ignorant. But if somebody has time to mentor you and let you shadow them around, they're not really doing shit. They can. I
That's
could
real
not
shit.
do that. I'm too busy.
Yeah.
You'd either be sitting in the car with me all day. You'd probably just be driving me. I'll be on my phone all day, or you'd be following me around all day long. This, that, all over the place. So I can't imagine how you could shadow somebody and it actually, like, yeah, you could follow me to some new developments but eventually you're gonna be like, all right, let me break away and go do my own thing. But all these mentors, I just feel like it's just a scam. It's just a way to pretend like you know what you're doing and then people will pay you. Right. Because real estate is one of the biggest scams in the business. There's so many scammers. Like, that's something to talk about too. Real estate is a lot of scammers.
Wow.
And a lot of people get taken advantage of. So many people, working people, 9 to 5 people, are looking for a way out of that. They're stuck in that rat race. And these real estate people come along and they take advantage of them and say, oh, I can help you out. You got 20,000, 30,000, we can invest this money. I can get you, put your money to work, get out of this 9 to 5 job. These people are tired, they're stressed out, they give them their money and they get stuck. It happens so much.
Yeah.
Right here in Rhode Island.
I guess this is my last question about this, and then we can move on. Do you maybe not now, but have you ever found it challenging to, like, articulate your point, like get your point across?
I feel like I'm really bad at explaining things.
That's because I used to smoke a lot of weed. I don't smoke no more. And, like, at my peak, when I was smoking all day every day, I would like. You're good. I would slur a lot. Like, I sounded. My mom would be like, "What the fuck are you saying to me? I can't understand the words you're saying."
You started smoking weed at a young age, right?
Yeah, and so, like, that definitely played a part in, like, how I sounded.
Yep.
It even got to a point where I would start. I'm educated. Like, I went to college and stuff, but I would start speaking, and people and maybe we get into like a deeper conversation, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, I thought you were a dumbass when I first met you just because of how I spoke."
Yeah.
But I know on my personal journey to try to fix that and be more like
Pills,
well
cough
spoken.
syrup, none of that?
Nah,
None of that?
It was really just weed.
See, your generation, you glorify the drug users, right?
Because of, like, rap and stuff.
Yeah,
What do you
rap and pills and perks. My generation, if any of us was on that, we was hiding it.
mean?
They was ducking with it.
Nah, I didn't like that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really come from that background. I just liked smoking a lot of weed, and
Yeah.
it got out of hand. But my point is that reading or even, like, listening to other people speak, podcasts, people that were more well spoken, that helped me kind of break out of that shell.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're not taking those steps or you're not doing those things, I think it, just based on my experience, it might be harder for you.
For sure.
Or it has been harder for you to, like you said, explain yourself better.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You got to do what works for you.
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, you gotta
get
do what
like.
works for you.
I mean, you say you have that's not something you'd want to fix or, like, improve.
Reading?
Not even reading, because you said reading's probably shot.
Yeah, shot.
I mean, like you said you sometimes have a hard time explaining yourself, and that doesn't necessarily come from a place of, like, lack of vocabulary. That could just be
I
like,
don't know if I
practicing
do.
speaking.
I don't
Or
know.
Maybe I misunderstood you.
No, I may think I'm not explaining myself well, but you may be receiving it well.
Right.
I'm hearing everything right now, and even when I heard you talk to Kyle a couple months ago, like, there wasn't a point where I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I'm just before 15 minutes ago, I didn't know you didn't know how to read.
Yeah.
So I'm just speaking about, like, coming from that point, because I know reading has helped me a lot in my speaking.
Hey, who knows? Maybe if I did, open my mind to some stuff, I could go to a whole nother level.
I'm sure
Right.
you could.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean,
But it would have to be on my own terms, and it would have to be something that I I could register.
Right.
Especially now, I'm so busy that anything that I'm gonna sit there and focus my time on, I need an instant return on it. Like if I listen to a podcast or I read something, I need to get something out of that today. I need to be like, okay, I'm gonna go. All right, this is the way to do push-ups. Let me go do these push-ups right now.
Right.
I don't have time to long-term invest in stuff like that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but then again, on the flip side, I mean, I remember you guys were talking about it. When you buy a house or buy a property, your money's in that property for what, 6 to 12 months?
Yes.
So, like, what's the difference between something like that and something where it's not a real estate property?
I'm actually seeing that return. Like I see it. I can touch it. The
Right.
equity's there.
In 6 to 12 months, though.
Yeah. But I see that. Like I could see it. I get what you're.
Right, you're more-
I get exactly what you're
if
doing.
you worked at reading for 6 to 12
Yeah,
months
yeah,
and you
yeah.
documented it, I'm
Right.
sure you could go back and be like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm reading way better than I was 3 months ago.
Well, I think I am. I think I listen to the news every day. I listen to
Right.
like financial
Okay.
podcasts.
Okay.
Like so I do open my mind. I do, but like I said, it has to be something that I find entertaining that can keep me captive.
Okay.
If it's something that I'm not totally into, I'll just check out right away.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. That's interesting, man.
Right. No, I mean, I didn't go to college, so I feel you. You know, like
I never even set foot in a college.
Right. I feel you in the sense of like I do try to read and I do take a lot of information, but I'm guilty of reading a lot of books and sometimes not taking action on everything that I'm taking in, right? And I think sometimes people overcomplicate the process of success when it's like like a lot of times you'll hear the quote like, "Hey, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough."
I believe
right?
that hands down.
Right. So I think, it was important for us to touch on some of your deficits so people could relate to it, right? But now I want to understand kind of like, I don't know, we could word it different, but what would you say is like throughout this process been like your gift or like your top skill? Is it like that resilience? Is it like building teams? Is it like understanding people?
So
right? Like what's your strength?
I think that, and you got to understand this, growing up where I grew up and living the life that I live, you need to be able to adapt to people's personalities immediately. Right? Whoever comes up to you, whether they're aggressive or they're nice you need to be able to be like a chameleon, and you need to adapt, especially growing up in South Providence in that era where I grew up in an era where there was no cell phones. Right? Everybody was in the streets. Everybody was in the corners. People were selling drugs in the corners. People were buying drugs in the corners.
Right.
Everybody was outside. In the summertime, right now, in the daylight right now, everybody would be outside. It's
Right.
not like that no more.
Right.
So there's a lot of different personalities, and you're dealing with a lot of different people. And to be successful and come from the streets, or even to be semi-successful, you need to know how to deal with people's personalities immediately when they come up. When they walk up to you, especially if you're hustling and you're dealing with this guy and that guy, and you need to just kind of like adjust your tempo with everybody. And I feel like I have charisma when it comes to that. Learning how to deal with people, and I've always been super responsible. I've always been a man of my word, and I've always been really, really good with money, which I think being responsible with money is the most important.
Wow.
Yeah,
Were you like ever not responsible with money? Never?
From a kid,
And why? Like your parents or
I
something?
was always
or?
afraid to be poor.
Wow.
I was just afraid to be. I never want to be poor. I never want to not have money. I've never once in my life asked anybody to borrow money other than a bank.
What made you like afraid to not be poor? Was
I
it like
grew
a
up poor.
culture in the okay?
I grew up poor,
Right,
and
right.
I didn't want to be like this.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. No, that's so powerful.
I grew
man.
up in a family where they were like money hungry.
Right.
Like they just all they cared about was money.
Right.
To the point where it was like disgusting.
Right.
And I didn't want to be that way.
Wow. And I
See,
know,
let me not to cut you
No,
off.
you got it.
But that's a problem, right, for your younger generation, because you guys are never going to be financially straight because you're buying your Grubhub and Uber Eats, and this world is set up to make you fail, right? Because everything is you're walking around with a mall in your pocket. Your phone is a mall.
Right. You get anything at
There's
any
a mall.
moment.
And a restaurant.
Wow.
5-star restaurant. McDonald's, whatever
Everything.
you want is in your pocket. Anything you want is at your fingertips. And the money's not real to you because it's just in your phone.
Wow.
So it's just like, I want
So
it.
it's different.
It's different. Yeah.
Wow.
But you gotta stop with any frivolous shit like that. If you're buying Grubhub and Uber Eats and you're wasting money on shit like that, I'm telling you, you're never gonna get it. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna do it. You need to be saving. You should be saving 15 to 20% of your paycheck. And if you're not, you're living beyond your means. Stay down until you come up.
Wow.
And that's what you don't want to do, man. And you just go out and spend your whole paycheck on going out to Federal Hill, going to a club, couple drinks, and you're not going to get nowhere. Yeah.
Wow.
It's cool now. How old are you?
Me, I'm 22.
It's cool now, but wait till you're 42. It ain't cool no more.
Right. It gets played out quick.
It gets played out quick.
I'm already.
Yeah.
Wow. I think like, I mean,
Do you
everybody.
Uber Eats? Do you Uber Eat?
Do I eat it?
Yeah. How often?
How often?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit.
on
I'm
your
pretty
ass.
skinny, so I barely eat in general.
Stop
but
lying. Stop lying.
Now Uber Eats, I'll go. I have my car, so I'll get food. But I can't lie, like I have a girlfriend, so sometimes I'll get her Uber Eats. Like I try, but it's way more expensive too.
$100 a month?
On Uber Eats.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh, nah, way more than that. Probably like.
Oh my God.
Probably like at least 200.
That's
I
a
would
problem.
Say. Nah, yeah, it's a problem. I gotta
That is a
fix it.
problem.
Nah, yeah, nah. This is why we're having this talk.
You?
I food shop. I'm pretty good about my diet.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, I have
Right, he's the
my
dude.
own vices, but I'm not. When it comes to money, I'm pretty good.
Right.
See, you gotta
be diligent.
realizing I come from having cash.
Right.
It hurt you to peel that cash off.
Yeah.
It hurt to that hurts.
Right.
That's my dad's first thing when he puts people on a budget. He says it's like a cash budget, no plastic.
Yup.
He said put your cards away, and it's just cash for the same reason.
You become desensitized to money. It's not money to you. It's not
just a
currency.
number.
Just
Wow.
a number.
Yeah.
That's it. Your number goes down. I got food. Number goes down. I have a tenant who's 2 months behind on the rent, and I'm over there looking at something in the basement, and she gets a fucking milkshake delivered to her.
Wow.
One milkshake.
While you're there,
While I'm there, she's 2 months behind on the rent, and I'm like, "This is why you're behind on the rent.
Right.
You could have gave me that $20, but you're getting you're in bed, and you want a milkshake, and you have somebody bring you a milkshake. That is wild.
Wow. And you overpay for it heavy.
$20 for a milkshake.
I mean, it's got to be at least $20,
Nah,
right?
he's not wrong, bro.
It ain't
I
like
get
50,
a
it ain't like
delivery,
$5.
all those fees, you get a tip.
Yeah, for
Wow.
one milkshake. That you got to look at how deep that is. That's a real problem with people that they want.
They're
We live in
desensitized
a
to
time when
money.
they want it and they want it now. They don't want to walk to McDonald's for it. They don't want
Yeah.
to drive to McDonald's.
Yeah. Everybody got a microwavable mindset. That's what it is.
It's crazy, man. It's scary because, and especially this younger generation, you guys all want to be entrepreneurs. You guys don't want to work. You don't want to be in no factory. Your parents was in factories, right? Warehouses,
Right.
Automobile plants. But you guys don't want to be in no. How many young kids you know? How many of your friends work in a factory?
Not many of them.
I mean, Amazon.
I know a few, but not like it was before. Those
Not like it was
factories
before.
were
Yeah,
deadly.
Yeah.
Amazon's like a 5-star factory.
Yeah, Amazon's not. When I say factory, I don't.
Nah, I mean, not to your point. Like,
Yeah.
that's our modern day factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even Amazon pays good. But I'm talking about like the old dusty factory,
Yeah, no,
like
no.
right here
The
where we are.
industrial ones
Right.
and stuff.
You know,
yeah.
none of these young kids, they don't want to do anything that's not glamorous.
Right.
They just want to do stuff that looks good. And we live in a society where they're looked down upon if they don't have a cool job, which is sad. Because, let me tell you something. I used to live in Johnston, and I used to get up every day, and I would leave my house at 5:30 in the morning, and every day I would see this dude standing at the bus stop every day with his daughter, every single day, black dude. And I would drive by him, and I have so much respect for this guy because people don't understand. Anybody can sell drugs. It's not saying it's an easy job and anybody can do it and be successful, but anybody can go the easy way. You know how hard it is to get up every day and get on the bus with your daughter? That's a real man. That's a real man to do that. Get up every day, put a coat on his daughter and go stand on the bus, drop his daughter off at school, get back on the bus, go to work. When I'm not even strong enough to do that because I'm going to get to it before I do that. Right. You know what I mean? I'm going to go and do something I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
I'm not even strong enough to, and that's such a definition of a man to me.
Wow.
Because
real.
you ain't much of a man when you're in jail and you're trying to raise your kids from a phone, which I've seen that so many times. I've done that. Yelling at my kids. My kids, they don't got no respect for you. You're on the phone. You're in jail. What are you saying? It's true.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. And so, I mean, throughout your journey, and then I'll let Joey kind of go into some other questions, but like throughout your journey, what would you say was like your why? Like, what was your why? Was it like, like, why do you just, you're so successful, you're at, what was your why before? And then even like now, I mean, like, what's your why now? Like, why are you still buying up more houses, right? Are you trying to like, own the whole city or something?
Right now, I'm just doing what makes sense to me, and I see all these opportunities.
Right.
So I'm just moving.
Right.
I see something in front of me, I'm gonna grab it.
Wow.
It just makes sense. I see these deals. I know I can make some money, so I move forward.
So I mean, so you're making everything that you're doing though. Like, what is it for? Like, I mean, if you die tomorrow, like, what do you like? What was it for? Is it like charity, a foundation, your family, a kid?
I could tell you that it's for money, but for the last 5 years, it's been for a little bit for social media, right? Because I have a lot of social media recognition, and a lot of people know me to be like an aggressive real estate guy, and I kind of have adapted that persona, and I like that. I've kind of grown into that. So I come from a life where you would have to hide your whole life. I could never be on camera. I could never do a podcast.
Right.
I'm finally getting comfortable with being, outside of the shadows.
Wow.
Which is another thing that people don't understand about living that life. When you're in the streets, and I'm talking about to the people that are really serious about it,
right.
you can't have a normal life. You have to dedicate 100% to hiding. You can't have your wife bring a friend over. You got to hide where you live. You got to switch cars. You know what I mean? You can't let people find out where you live. Your wife can't bring friends over. You know how hard it is to do something positive when you have to be so negative every day? When you got to spend your whole life hiding? You can't trust your friends. You got to see how he's talking. He's acting weird. He's talking funny. I'm something up with him. He's different. You know what I mean? You can never just let your guard down. How can you focus on anything positive? You know what I mean? How can you put yourself out there when you have to stay buried underneath? But you have to do that to protect yourself to be successful in that life.
So for the guy that's in that life at a high level, like you said, doing it serious, like probably like too comfortable to get out. Like, what's your like what's the first step they could take?
I'm gonna
to
tell
get
you,
out?
to anybody that's in that life, you have a number, and your number's gonna get called. And I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you go to jail with 20 million, and you go to jail for 2 years. You're gonna be broke when you get out. I promise you. Wow. I've been there. I've been everywhere you can imagine. And I've been around some of the biggest guys in Rhode Island, and they always come out broke. It just doesn't matter. So my message to them would be take one foot and put it in another direction, and every day dedicate a little bit of time to do. I don't care if you're selling tomatoes on the side of the road. Take a little bit of time and dedicate it towards doing something right, because when the day comes and that number gets called, you want to have something to hold on to that they cannot take from you, whether it be real estate or a business or something. Because they're gonna come. When they came and got me, they had a list, and they wanted everything on the list. They took a navigator from me. They wanted to know where the 4-wheeler was, motor, like everything. They had a whole list, and they wanted everything. They didn't want to leave me with shit.
Damn.
My goodness,
And there's
that's
news
crazy.
articles, you can look them up. They're still around.
Right. Yeah, it's just
Damn. I was supposed to ask you about real estate, but I don't really want to anymore.
Right.
I want you to talk about like your switch. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like up until I don't know what age, was there like a moment where you were like, I'm done with this shit. You know what I'm saying? And or was it like a gradual thing? Was it having a? I mean, you said you.
It was gradual. It got to the point where it just didn't make sense anymore, and it got to the point where I said, it's just greed.
Fast money.
Yeah, it's just greed at this point. I don't need it. I'm making legitimate money. I don't need it. It's just greed. And why do you want to be in jail for greed?
Can you say around what time that was? Or?
I can't.
Yeah, okay.
I can't. I didn't need to do it anymore.
For sure.
You know, and another thing I'll tell you, and this a lot of people can relate to this. You're always gonna set these ceilings for yourself, and you're gonna say, okay, when I get this much, I'm done. Or when I get this car, it's not real. You're never gonna stop.
Was there ever like, so I know because you just talked about the dude in your neighborhood with his daughter at the bus stop, because that's how you look at like a true man, like a true definition of a man now. During that like transition phase, was there ever a period of like self-loathing or like?
Of course,
you know what I mean. Like
I always looked at my kids as the victims, because they're the ones that had to come see me in jail. You know what I mean? And they're the ones that didn't understand. And when you look back at your family, they don't give a fuck about what you know. Like when your kids want to do shit and have money, but they want their father.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want their father around, and that hit me hard when my kids used to have to come visit me in jail. And I'm like, damn, they don't give a fuck about, what I'm driving around in a Navigator. They don't care that I got TVs in my Navigator. They just want their fucking father at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was hard for me.
So how was that transition? I mean, you just talked about having like something in reserve for when your number gets called. And I've talked to a couple of my boys like recently who they're not like at that top level, but I've got guys who've like been selling weed since. I mean, him and I were selling weed when we were like 15, 16. They're still doing it now at 23. And I'm like, look, if you want to do something legit, at this point, we don't have any kids. We don't have wives. So, like, if you're going to stop doing it, now would be the time, because you don't have people dependent on you. You might have bills to pay, like, apart, whatever. But I tell them, you're going to eat shit for, like, a year or two, because you're used to a certain lifestyle when, with that fast money, you can eat when you want to eat, order food when you want to order food. You always got cash on hand. But if you want to start a video business from the ground up, you want to get into real estate off the ground, you want to start selling solar off the ground, like, you're not going to be making the same money just first 6, 12 months.
What I would tell them is the same energy you're putting into selling weed, because that consumes your life.
Right.
Put that into something legit. Break it up. So one of the turning points in my life was I opened up a carpet cleaning business, and it wasn't a glamorous thing. And I got to the point where I didn't care how much money my phone was ringing with. I was doing these rugs. It didn't matter. You could have called me with $30,000. I'm gonna go do this $55 rug. I'll see you later. But this is my priority. I'm not making nowhere near as much money, but this is my priority because this is my long-term investment. This is gonna be the big return, over time. And I built that carpet cleaning van, and I drove that van around myself. And this is going back 2011. Jeez. I was making $100,000 a year
cleaning carpets
all by myself. Just by myself.
Wow.
I was leaving my house in the morning and I would go out and I would clean 5, 6, 7 houses, come back with $1,500, $2,000, and wake up and do it again.
How were you getting leads for the carpet company?
I had a billboard. I had ad in the yellow pages. I had commercials. I was doing real. This was before Facebook. No Facebook. So I was doing all real advertising.
That's
Valpak. I was big on Valpak.
I don't know what that is.
Valpak, when you get the mail with the little coupons in the mail, you throw it right in the garbage.
Okay, yeah.
You throw it right in the garbage. But back then, people didn't throw it in the garbage. People opened it up and get the coupons.
It goes right in the garbage.
In 2011, I was 8.
8 years old. Yeah.
But I guess back to my question, was there a transition period for you? Because you had kids. I don't know if you were.
That was my transition when I opened up that carpet cleaning business, and I said, you know something, this phone is gonna ring. Let it ring. This is the phone I'm concentrating on. I'll get to this phone later. And that was my segue.
So you never had like I don't want to say, I'm sure you were struggling, but I don't know, but like $100K a year, that's decent money. That's good money.
Yeah. I struggled, but I think I struggled more mentally with just worrying about, okay, what if I dip below this? But no, I never struggled because I've always been a saver. Ever since I was a kid, I've always saved money.
I got you.
Yeah, let me tell you something about saving money. Saving money is addictive. Once you get to a certain point,
You want to go more.
you want to go more, and every single thing doesn't make sense to buy it. If you got $100,000 in the bank, you're gonna take $2,000 of that 100 and buy a pair of Balenciagas out of your 100K.
No,
you got a flat 100K. You're gonna break it down to 98 and buy a pair of sneakers. You're not gonna do it. And then you're like, let me get 110. Then 110, I'm like, oh shit, I got 120. And the more money you make, the less you want to spend it on dumb shit. Now, if you only have $2,000 to your name, fuck it, go buy a pair of sneakers.
And back to zero.
It's whatever. Buy a pair of sneakers. That's the mentality. But you get to the point where you don't want to spend. You just like, I don't need it. And then you're like, wow, I walk in this store, I could buy anything I want, but I don't want nothing. Everything becomes shit to you.
Right.
Like
if it's not making you money or like furthering.
Just shopping, just clothes and going to the store. It doesn't, if you're going to spend your money on it, it becomes nothing.
What about that though? Because I remember you said, you when you was talking to Kyle the first time I met you, you would say something about, you guys were talking about real estate agents, like fresh off the bat. And this is a little bit of a pivot, but you said that any agent, for new agent who wakes up in the morning and puts a suit on with no leads is a dog. So what role do you think like appearance plays in success or first impressions? Because I get like shopping for fashion, but in terms of like how you're dressed or how you look, how like the clothes you're wearing, I'm not saying you got to wear the $1,000 suit, but does that play?
I think so.
Yeah.
See, that's something that I struggle with is dressing up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like you're at a point now. I mean, even like people talk about Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban walks into a room in fucking gym shorts, but he's Mark Cuban. But again,
but I still like I fell into a weird place where I was wearing sweatsuits every day. And, you know what I mean? But I'm dealing with attorneys and I'm dealing with lawyers and probate attorneys, and you don't want to show up to them, wearing a sweatsuit. So I do have a certain level of standard as far as what I'm gonna wear, but it's tough when you don't have anybody to answer to, because you could just wear whatever you want every day. But I do think that, especially if you're young, get up every day, and you can find a nice mix of dressing, urban or dressing cool and still dressing up.
Right.
But yeah, I think you should be ready for anything.
For sure.
Yeah,
ready
but
I guess even more like it might be. I don't know if it's gonna be hypocritical because you just said you wear sweatsuits, but does it play a role in you when you meet somebody? Like if you meet I don't want to say like obviously if you meet a new agent who's a kid like my age and he's wearing a sweatsuit versus a suit, you're gonna think differently of the kid wearing the sweatsuit.
I would size you up, but the minute you opened your mouth, you could fix that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that to me is way more than your appearance. Yeah.
I think it is for most people, but I think first impressions are also a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you showed up as a real estate agent, I know that you're not showing houses this way.
Right.
I know you're not. If you showed up to show a house this way, that would be a problem.
Right.
Yeah. But I know that. All right, this is just how you dress.
Right.
But I'm old enough. I'm also young enough to recognize the way you're dressed now is not. It's a thing, right? Like I'm not like an old man that's like he thinks that you look like a, you know what I mean?
I got you. No,
Yeah.
no,
If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying. I remember you said that about the suit, so I wanted to interject with that question.
For sure.
Earlier you talked about all the businesses you've done and how 90% of them were successful. So if that's the case, what made you consistently move on to the next business? Because if I start, and even if I start a carpet cleaning business and I hit 100K in 1 year, in my mind, that's something I'm going to want to build out.
So everything plateaus, right? Everything. You reach the top of your growth. For me, my first business I was 21 years old. I had a rim store on Cranston Street in Providence. And I did well. Like, I made money and I didn't lose any money, but it wasn't super successful. But it was enough to segue me into something else.
Do you think it was because I think somebody like you, and I talked to Adrian about, I think like anybody who like has that hustle, that drive you were talking about, you know, the water, you good?
No, I'm good.
Anybody who like has that work ethic and the hustle, whether it's a rim store, whether you're selling tomatoes on the side of the road, you're gonna make that shit work. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it only plateaus if it's not something that you believe in to an extent. Does that make sense? I don't know if not believe is not the right word, but like,
You'll believe in it when them checks come.
that's my point. If you're selling rims and you're doing okay, I think.
But the problem is I was selling other shit with the rims. And that's where I was making money.
But and I get that at 21. But Walt, at I don't know whatever age you were selling carpets in 2011, when you were trying to make that transition, if you're cleaning carpets and you see 100K in a year, in my mind, and you're doing that shit solo, in my mind, the next play is like, let me hire somebody.
I did.
Let me upgrade my equipment. And let me see how I can build this up into a 2, 3, 4 vans. You know what I mean?
I did that. And that was the decline of the business. Because it got too big for me to manage. Because I realized and this is a thing a lot of people need to understand their role and what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. I'm not a supervisor. Right, so I wanted to be the guy on the phone booking the jobs, sending people out.
Right.
Then the work started to decline, the quality of work. I was getting complaints. I was losing customers. And then I didn't want to do it anymore.
Because you weren't cleaning.
Because I wasn't cleaning them. People wanted to see me there. They knew I was, it was going to be a good job. Also, that was when laminates were introduced in vinyl flooring. People started taking their rugs out.
Okay.
So all these people that would call me for years and years, they were getting their rugs taken out. So I noticed that, okay, carpet cleaning is a dying business. So let me move out of carpet cleaning and get into something else. But I had a staffing agency and I did very well until we had like an employment crisis, in like 2008. And so that was it for that. But I didn't lose any money in it. So to me, the business is a success if I learned and I made money. And then, I consider it a success. No, I'm not still doing it right now, and I don't have 100 offices, but, every door you open will put you in a room with other doors.
Right.
It's important to try those other rooms to see what fits for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So at what point would you throw in the towel, though? Obviously, with the carpets that was dying.
I throw in the towel as soon as the money stops coming in. I'm not putting good money after bad. The minute the phone stops ringing, I'm out. And that's what problem people have. People just keep going and going and going. And especially like a club or a restaurant or something, it becomes their identity. And they don't want to part with it. But you got to let that go. You got to move on to something else.
So you don't believe in like, I don't want to say chasing your dream, but like, I know you've never had like a slow season with real estate.
No, but that doesn't mean. Let me tell you something. The day I see the writing on the wall and real estate is just not doing well, I'm out. I'm doing something different. I'm moving. I'm not sticking around. I'll catch it on the news. I'm gonna move into something else. I'm already right now looking for my next thing that I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna stay with real estate, but I'm looking for something else to invest in. That's why I'm going to an alternative asset summit to figure out how I can invest in alternative assets and I'm at the point right now where I can let my money perform for me. I don't really have to do much. I can just let the money work.
So there's not one thing you love doing?
No, there's not one thing I love doing. No.
That's raw.
Yeah, there's not one thing I love doing.
Right. You like fishing or not?
Nah.
Well, that's
yeah.
not doesn't make money.
I got a boat, but I don't do sports.
Right.
I don't even go on my
that
boat.
flat. He said, "I got a boat. I don't use it though."
I don't even use it. I got boat, jet skis.
Damn. You rent them out though?
Nah, it's just sit on the dock, man. I got them just to have them.
Oh my god, that must
Yeah.
be nice.
It's not because I don't use them. And if you had it, you would do the same thing. They would just sit there.
I believe it.
Everything gets old, bro.
Yeah.
I got an in-ground pool at my crib that we probably swam in 5 times all summer.
Oh my god.
Everything gets old. You get addicted to working. That's what excites me is close these deals. Put these projects down. That's what I like to do.
I'm just struggling because I feel like maybe we look at things differently, but and you've been around it, done a lot more things than I have. But my understanding is that like at whatever business you get into, whatever job you have, whatever you do, it's not like a steady curve, like a linear line in terms of growth and success. Like there's gonna be periods where you dip down a little bit, and then you might be like periods where you go crazy, and then
How far down? How far you going down? You're gonna let it dip.
Well, I mean, there is a certain level, but to your point, it sounds like whenever it stops going up, you're like, all right, on to the next. But
That's listen. I mean, it's not okay. Shit's fucked up. Let me dump out of here. No, when you see the writing on the wall, when you know it's not coming back.
Right.
do you think
like, you know for sure?
You're like real estate is your lane right now, and to my understanding, real estate over a longer period of time is a consistent growth.
Yes.
So do you ever see a point where like there's going to be writing on the wall?
So when you talk about real estate, are we talking about wholesaling or lending or rental properties? Because I do all of it.
Because there's many.
So right now, wholesaling is kind of shit.
But the fact that you do all of it and have your foot in so many doors or rooms in the real estate space, if one area is declining a little bit, you can kind of juice up the other ones. No,
I mean I won't let wholesaling bleed into my rental properties. My rental properties perform. My lending portfolio performs. My wholesaling performs. My new construction performs. If one of those are not performing, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Okay.
but just that one thing.
Just that one thing.
But that's my point. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about scrapping real estate.
No. I'm looking at them as all separate entities.
Exactly.
So you
but
got
if all
people-
5 stop working,
Yeah.
that's when you would get out of real estate.
You got people that just do rental property. You got people that just do new development. You got people that just do wholesaling. I do all of it. I do all of it. And if one of them stopped working, obviously my other ones that perform would offset the difference. But I'm going to stop doing it. If I keep taking a hit on wholesaling and I'm taking a hit, I'm going to stop wholesaling. Yeah. And I'm like I said, I'm going to move into something else. I'm not going to hang around and wait for the smoke to clear and hopefully things come back. If they do, I'll jump back in. But I'm only going to get slapped around once or twice, and then I'm out the door.
So if you were in the same position you're in right now back in 08, like if 08 happened again,
I want an 08 to happen.
Why? You would buy up?
Because I'm the kind of guy that takes advantage of, not to sound like an asshole, I'm the kind of guy that takes advantage of situations like that. I capitalize on things like that. I buy foreclosures.
Right.
So when people are losing their homes, I'm the guy that comes in and buys it.
and flip it.
And flip it or buy it and hold it and let the equity build back up. Because I understand that eventually it will. And what people don't, and even in 08, price of real estate went down, but the price of rent didn't. So you could still
make money.
Still make money.
So in what instances are you losing money? Not like don't give me, I don't want specifics, but like in your lane of work, where like how would somebody like you, like what would cause something like that to go red?
Right now?
Just like in general, because I'm not somebody really, like I'm not a real estate person. Like I know a little bit, but yeah, like what would be a scenario in which?
I mean, like if I built a house and I put too much money into it and I had to sell it and lose and take a loss, is that what you mean?
I guess a little bit.
Yeah.
Even like the lots are like.
I would look at what I did wrong as far as building
and
this house.
what's something that like could go wrong or like you
Well,
overvalue
let's say put it this way. Let's say right now I just built 5 houses. I'm building another 7 right now. Let's say the price of multifamily homes drop, which is a real possibility.
Right.
Right? Because I'm building these
Because
houses.
of the market?
Because of the market. So I'm building these houses for $300,000 and I'm buying the land for probably around $150,000.
Right.
So that puts me at $550,000. They're selling for $700,000. After holding costs and paying agent fees, I'm probably making $150,000 a house. If the price of a new construction multifamily fell to, right now it's at 720, 705. If it fell to like low 6s, I'm going to hold those properties and refinance them and rent them because rent is still performing well.
Right.
And I'm going to stop building. And I'll build the rest that I have, or I'll sell the land, and I'll build the rest that I have, and I'll keep them as rental properties. But I'm not going to go out and buy more land and try to build more houses when the value is down.
Wow.
Are you still making money by renting them out, or are you just covering your costs?
Yeah, I'll make money because what I'll do is I'll go to a bank and I'll refinance and I'll take out all my money that I put in,
Right.
and the house will stand me zero.
And
And,
the
even
rent
if I
will
make
cover them.
$500 a month off the house,
You're still making money.
I'm still making money. But I get the depreciation factor and I get the equity every year building up. So eventually, this house, I started out with this wanting it to be $700,000. Now it's down to $580 because the new family market took a shit. I'm gonna wait in 7, 8, 10 years. It's gonna come back up. So I'll make $1,000 a month off this house for 10 years, and then it'll be worth $800,000.
So why would you stop building? Just because cash flow?
Because it just doesn't make sense at the time. I don't want to keep building and holding. You know what I mean?
Making less, but you're still making money off the rent, but you're not making like big money fast.
Yeah, it's not worth my
Okay,
time.
I
So
got you.
right now, I need to move my time into something that's going to perform like
You gotta see it.
I got to see it.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Damn. I guess the one question we had I like is what's something you would want to tell us or the viewers about real estate that you think people are not willing to say or scared to say?
Oh, that's a good question. Ask me that one more time.
Is what's something you'd want to share with the viewers and us about real estate that you think most people in your space would be scared to say?
A lot of you guys, a lot of people in general, you don't got it. You don't got it.
In terms of
You're not going to get up every day. You can probably relate to this because you're a salesperson, and you see people every day coming into your lane thinking they can sell,
Right.
and you see what they're doing wrong, and you just can't teach it.
Right.
You can't teach it. You cannot teach them how to talk to people and conduct themselves and make themselves seem friendly and adapt to knocking on the door. People open the door. You don't know what kind of personality you're going to get on the other side of that door.
Exactly.
You need to adjust to that like that, right? And they come on. I'm hungry. I got it. You're like, yeah, bro. Like you don't got it. You can't do this.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
And a lot of people want to get into real estate and they just don't got it. They don't have it. They don't understand. They don't. It's so much of this business is based on finesse, personality. You need to be able to interact with people. You need to be able to communicate. Negotiation. Some people can't negotiate. Negotiation is not, I'll give you 10. No, I'll take 7. No, I'll give you 8. That's not negotiating. Negotiating is personality, is charisma. You know what I mean? Making somebody, offering them less than what they want, but making them feel good about it. You know what I mean? Not like, this house is a piece of shit, man. I'll give you 800,000. I want $1 million. Come on, man. You just ain't worth no $1 million. That's not negotiating. You know what I mean? But
Right.
bringing them down nice and slow to that
Right.
800, that's negotiating.
Wow.
And that's something you can't teach people. Is that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. A little bit, yeah.
But that's what I would say to a lot of people. Hang it up. Just get out the business, bro. Hang it up. Go do go get a job.
Right.
Everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Some people are just workers. Be happy with having a job. Because while your friends that are entrepreneurs, they're busted, they're hurting, and you at least got your job, and you got your stability, you got your apartment, your car, and you're not stressing. You're not fake balling out of control like him, but you're not stressing either.
Right.
Be happy to have that stability.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hang it up.
Hang it up.
No, that's real. That's real. And like for the people that are in the industry, like is there anything like, I mean, again, like I know a lot of people, might get onto a podcast and there's some stuff they don't want to share because they're like scared, or I might make less money, or I won't want somebody to do this because this is like, my formula or whatever. But like you told me the other day on the phone call, like I could say what I got to say, but most people won't even do anything with it. Right. Cause like people don't even got in them to like actually take action. But like I'm sure there's like a million, like 100 things you could like, this is something that I know, that's super like a play or a way. But in terms of like real estate, like I think that's a good message for a lot of the people that really, like they just say they want to do real estate, but they're not serious. Like I know a lot of people that say they want to do sales, but they're not ready to be broke for 3 months.
Like
right?
I said earlier, go get a job and hang it up, because this is a lifestyle.
Right.
This is not something you could pick up. It's not like a Rubik's Cube, and that's the problem. People get on the phone, they say, can you mentor me? I'm pumped up. They go to the seminars. They want to pick it up. They want to spin it around, try to connect the colors. They put it down. Next week, they pick it up. I'm hungry. I'm going to do it. Spin it around again. No, bro, this is a lifestyle. You got to do this every single day. You got to fully commit. Every single day, all day long, every day. If you have to work a 9-to-5 job, the minute you get out of work, you got to go right into it. And you have to do the things you don't want to do. And you even if you don't see the point in it, just do it. Just get out there and do it. I don't care if you got to ride around and just touch houses. Just rub your hands on them. But just get used to doing shit for nothing.
Right.
And then put that time in. And I'm telling you, eventually the deals will come.
Right.
You'll learn. You'll meet people. You'll network. And the deals will come. But they're not going to come from being in the house. And they're not going to come from you watching YouTube and seminars and mentors. They definitely ain't coming from that.
No, that's 100%. And I only bring it up because you're super close to it. But like when you were growing up, in these, or like just early on, right? Like, were there any like vices or like addictions that you had to like break away from or let go of? You know, like some
Hustling.
people's
Hustling. That's the worst addiction.
Wow.
I could have smoked any drug in the world and I would have quit way before that.
Wow.
Because that money is more addictive than anything, and there's no rehab for that. And in the court system, you're frowned upon for being that guy on that end of it.
Right.
And there's no love, there's no leniency. You're just villainized. But that is far more addictive than any drug. And there's probably more people in jail for selling drugs than using drugs.
Wow.
You know, think about it like that. But that's just addictive. But the courts, they're not showing no love. There's no rehabs for that. But that's a vice.
Wow, that was deep.
That's a big vice, and that's something that I contemplated with, and it was really hard for me to come to grips with, is knowing that you're gonna go to jail. Like you're gonna go to and I'm saying go to jail. I'm not talking about 18 months. I'm talking about going to jail. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna get cooked. It's only a matter of time. And then when you're really, really involved, you just there's not a day that doesn't go by. Like I had this thing where, and this. You develop PTSD from shit like this, but I used to have this thing where if I made a doctor's appointment and they say, all right, we'll see you October 31st for your doctor's appointment.
You might.
On my mind, I'll be like, am I going to be here October 31st? Every time I made an appointment, I said, am I going to be here for that? Damn. And then when I would go to that appointment, I'm like, I made it to the appointment. Damn. And that's every single time, every day I did something and a date or something, and I'm like, am I going to make it? Or every morning, is this the day? I've had 2 of my houses raided. My daughter, they put my daughter on the floor and they came in and did that whole deal with the SWAT and and every day it's like, is this the day? Is this you wake up at 5 a.m. and be like, is today the day? Am I gonna get home tonight? It's real. It's real. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say because that's deep, right? And like a lot of people. Even, like it's easy for people that smoke or drink or whatever, right? But like making that money, being on the other side, being dependent by like, the people, the plays, the fiends, whatever. But from like, there was there a moment when you were like, yo, I want to stop hustling, but then you kept hustling before you actually stopped?
Every day.
So like, what was like, how long were you thinking about not hustling before you stopped?
How about you're in jail and you're like, damn, I got to get out. And let me just get like a 2-year run. Let me just get 2 more years because I don't got it right now. I got to go back in.
Right.
I don't got it. But when I get out, just let me get 2 more years. I can get 2 more years and I can stack and I'll do something. I'll do something big with that. But I just need 2 years. But 2 years is a long time on the streets. Long time when you're out there and you're pitching out the window every day. 2 years is a long time. And I come from a different generation. Your generation, they're kind of all telling on each other. It's like a little different. My generation, that was still kind of frowned upon. And if they did it, they hit it. It wasn't like as obvious as it is now. So, it was a little easier back then. But you guys, it's like, it's whatever. Just put it out there. Like, dude tells on somebody, he's in the club the next day. You couldn't do that in my generation. Yeah. Somebody would get him. Somebody would be like, oh, he told on so. But even if he didn't tell on their boy, just because he told, they would do something to him. You know what I mean? This is different now. But like I said, just being in there, like knowing I got to come home. And I'm not even somebody who was in love with the life or somebody like, some people are, just love it. I always looked at it as a business, a way to make money.
Right.
But knowing I got to get out, like, boom, I'm going to be out of here in 9 months. I got 9 more months to go. I got to get out and I got to jump right back in. And I'm saying like the next day, I got to jump back in.
And that's how a lot of people think.
Whether they think it or they don't, because let me tell you something. If you're used to having money and you know how to make money, you ain't going to be broke on the streets. You're going to come out and you're going to go right back in. There's nothing more deflated than a dude that is used to having money and got to come home and go to work.
That's what I was saying earlier about telling my boys they got to quit trapping. Is like you got to face the fact that for however long you stay down till you come up. If you're gonna go legit, you're not gonna be making that same money for the first 6 months to a year. Like you got to be uncomfortable.
Unless they go and do a nice Fed bid and do 10 or 15 years and come home, then they'll come get a job and they'll be cool with it. But if they do like 5 years or 18 months and they used to being that guy in the club, gold chain popping, they're hurting. They're hurting. Their ego is gone. They don't want to go out. They don't want nobody to see them because they're not used to being seen as a regular guy. They used to being the superstar, and now they're out here and they don't got it, and they can't go out and they can't spend and they can't buy their girl drinks, and
Can't buy anybody drinks.
Can't buy anybody drinks. Yeah.
Before I ask, you got to get out of here at a certain
No,
time?
I'm chilling.
Chilling? All right. So how do you feel now? Like removed, I'm assuming removed or like...
Bro, I'm not even going to put a time frame on it.
No, I don't want you to,
just
like...
started living my life. I just started living.
Like mentally?
I'm just now born.
Can you speak on that a little bit? Just like how, how the... Because I'm assuming
I am not within anybody's reach. I'm free.
And I mean, because I'm assuming for a long, like I said, no time frame, but for a long time, you're battling that addiction, so to speak. You're waking up and you're not happy with what you're doing and where you're at in life because of the things you choose to do every day. And now you're at a point where, you know, like you said, it feels like you're reborn. So like,
I feel like all my years of running around, I never got to enjoy any of it.
Right.
Because I was always afraid, even though I'm laughing and I'm joking and I've been plenty of vacations and cars and I'm talking about. And when I'm talking about spending money, I'm talking about shopping on Rodeo Drive and like living a real good life. But the people around you enjoy it, not you. Because you know there's a 1,000-pound weight hanging over your head. And you can only enjoy it for, go to a restaurant, enjoy it for 20 minutes. But then that reality is right there.
if someone could just hear.
Yeah, just your phone rings, somebody texts you and you bring you right back down to reality. Your boy be like, hey man, what's up? When can I see you? Like, damn man, fuck, all right. So it's always there. You know what I mean? And any little thing can just like bring you down. Like, man, I text this dude, he didn't answer me back fast enough. Man, this is weird. Like, something's going on. Like, you know what I mean? You have to be paranoid.
Right.
If you're not, you're slipping, and it's not going to be good for you. So much energy goes into that. If you're going to do it and you're going to do it the right way, it consumes your life. You have to hide where you live. You got to hide your cars. You got to hide. You can't even buy shit. People are hating on you. You're buying shit, and you don't even want to show it to people. And you can't put pictures on. I mean, if you're gonna do it the right way, I'm saying, can't put pictures on social media.
Nah.
Can't let your girl bring friends to the house. You don't want nobody knowing where you live.
Right.
Don't trust your man. You don't trust your brother. Where you gonna put your money? Where do you hide? Where do you hide money? Where do you hide $500,000? Where would you hide it? You got $500,000 right now. What you doing? Where you doing with it?
Me?
Yeah.
Where you about me personally?
Yeah, right now.
Going to the bank.
No, you can't.
You mean if I'm in that life?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean you gotta. Shit.
I gave you $500,000 and I said, where you gonna put it? Shoebox?
Mattress.
Mattress?
Yeah.
How long is that gonna last?
Not long. That's why I'm not in that life, brother.
I'm just saying, like, you run out of places to hide money.
For sure.
You got to trust people. And what is the one thing in the world you can't trust people with?
Money.
Money. And it's not even it's not your sister, it's your sister's boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's it's
a friend.
It's like you trust your sister. Your sister ain't gonna rob you, but she might let something go. She might say something, and then and then what you gonna do? Now you got to go after a homeboy, and then now you're like, all right, now I'm in some whole other shit.
It's a little bit of a different question, and you can speak on it if you want or not. But how's your relationship with your kids?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, great.
You think it's gotten better because of that? Or like, do you think, is that something that never like played a role
So
in?
that's probably the only plus to that life is I had unlimited time to spend with my kids. We traveled.
No job, no nothing.
No job. Yep, we traveled. We bought them whatever they wanted, mall, dirt bikes, four-wheelers.
But how is that different than like your lifestyle now? Because
It's not. It's the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like as an entrepreneur, you're gonna whether you're
Yeah.
selling drugs or selling houses, I feel like you're on your own time.
Yeah, but I was able to be present for my kids being, other than the times that I was in jail.
Right.
But I was able to be present for my kids. And the beautiful thing about me is I didn't have much of a childhood growing up. So I was able to relive my childhood with my kids with money. What's better than that? So we're going to Disney. They got four-wheelers, ATVs, you name it.
How many kids you got?
I got 3 kids.
Wow.
3 kids.
That's fire, bro.
Yep. So imagine like I said, I didn't have a childhood. So what do you guys want to do? Let's go to Six Flags. Come on, let's go to Six Flags. We'll go to Disney. We'll go to Universal. Whatever. Let's go buy bikes. Whatever you want to do. And I just did it. Those were my friends. So I just hung out with my friends. And those were the only people that I really felt comfortable with.
Your kids.
And that was one of the only times that I felt safe. Like I felt safe. Like nothing's going to happen to me when I'm with my kids, which is naive to think that.
But what about on the flip side? Because like, I understand I don't have it, so I understand it. But like, I get like why you say you feel comfortable around your kids because they love you for you. They don't know anything you do. But in terms of like safety and stuff happening, I feel like I can only imagine it'd be elevated to a whole nother extent when you're with your kids.
Yeah, it just felt like my safe space.
Okay.
I just felt like
mentally.
Yeah, mentally. Yeah, I just felt like nothing gonna pop off with my kids. Even if they come get me, it's, you know, I don't think they're gonna do it with my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a sense of relief. I bought a boat, and I used to have a sense of relief when I'll be out on the boat because I know, at least
one's out there.
I know they ain't coming. I don't know what's gonna happen when I get back to the dock, but I know right now I'm safe. Nothing's gonna happen to me out here. Or if I traveled and I went away for a week, I know I'm safe out here.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Damn, man. You ever thought about like dictating a book, putting the book out there?
Somebody offered me to do one a long time ago, but because there's a whole nother level to this that I can't talk about right now, but I will be able to talk about in the future. For
sure.
And it's like if I told you, it would be just something so different.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll be in a different spot next year and I can come back and talk about it.
For sure.
You know,
We'd
a
love to
lot of
have
people don't understand a lot about that business, and when you get to a certain point, there's no violence, there's no home invasions, maybe, like, you know, people trying to break in your house, but there's no violence. It's business.
Right.
You're with businessmen, real businessmen.
Right.
You know, you're not seeing nothing crazy. Like, I never had a gun. I never owned a gun.
Yeah.
Never needed it. You know, I had one in the crib, but I never took it out the house. I never had to point a gun at nobody. I never had to do no shit like that. If it ever got to the point where it came down to something like that, I had people that I would fuck with, that would do it for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that's not your.
But that's not, yeah. And I never got burnt, but if I did, I would have been like, go ahead, man, just do your thing. And it ain't worth it. I'm not gonna risk my life for, you know, a couple $1,000s or whatever it is.
Right.
I looked at it like a business. You know, it's just what it is.
Yeah, you should. I told you the same thing. You got robbed one time, and
Yeah,
you was
that
acting
was-
funny.
What, like I was nervous?
No, you was trying to do something that we wasn't trying
Oh
to do.
yeah, no, for sure. You got to choose the right path.
We're coming up on, like, we like to keep the episodes like an hour, and we're about at an hour. So, is there anything you'd like to? We had in the left. I mean, we had like real estate stuff, and I talked about like social media and personal brand. But I kind of like how this conversation went.
Sure.
So, is there anything? It don't have to be that. Is there something you want to, like, another conversation you want to have before we wrap it up?
I think you kind of covered everything, man. Yeah.
I have one more question.
ahead,
I have a question, just because this is kind of important to me. So, like, I love your story, and you know, I feel like, you know, like a lot of what you went through is just, it's amazing to see where you're at now, right? Like, you know, it's like. But I want to know, like, throughout all of it, you know, I know you mentioned a lot, like, you know, holding yourself mentally, you know, your mindset. You know, I'm big on like mindset, mentality. But what, you know, the simplest way to ask this question is, there like, you know, are you like driven by like faith? Are you like, you know, I wouldn't say like religious or anything. I don't know how you want to like word it. You know, some people might say like, wow, like you've been protected by God. Like, you know.
So listen, I'll 100% tell you that I've made it through some situations. If I told you, you would probably be like, I'm not sure if this dude's telling me the truth.
Right.
Like, I've been through some really sketchy situations. I've been all over the world, right? All over the world. I've been through some really sketchy situations. There's no way it could have been luck. No way. Wow. I was in the intake one time, and this was in 2000. And at that time, I was looking at...
Wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, it wasn't even born. It was, it was a very, very low point for me. It was a bad time, and I was negotiating like a 3-year sentence, and I came out of my cell, and there was a garbage can right out of my cell. We come out of our cell for to go to chow, and you stand by your door while they count you. So I'm standing there, and there's a garbage can next to my cell, and there was a brand new garbage bag in the can, and I looked down, and there was a Bible in there, and I'm like, damn, who throws a Bible away? It's the crazy part, right? I go in there, I get the Bible, and it's called a Good News Bible. I still have it to this day. It's a Bible that's written in regular words, not like, you know, the biblical words,
right,
so you can understand it. So I read the whole book. You know, it took me a while. It took me, you know, like a year to read it.
Because you got to go like...
Because I got to go slow.
Right.
But like, I use word association. If you put words together, I can make it, you know, I can understand it. But if you break them up, I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
So I think I read a good portion of it, and it definitely changed my life. And I definitely have faith. So yeah, I am a man of faith.
I love that. I
love
that.
I don't think I would have made it. Even if you want to say it wasn't religion or it wasn't faith, just the positive energy that I get from it, right? Always
And
kept
believing.
me positive, and I just feel like that played a big role. Absolutely, it doesn't make any sense why I'm still sitting here. When I tell you that all these people gone, all these people gone, and I'm still here, it doesn't make sense.
You think it's outside of, you know, your faith or whatever you've done to, you know, read or practice said faith? Do you think there's a reason for that? Like you think you're here. I don't want to get. I'm not saying like I don't want to sound like cheesy, but like you think you're here for like a bigger purpose, so to speak.
So this is something that I used to say to myself all the time. I used to say, if you give me the chance to help people, I'll try to give back. I'll try to fix some of the damage that I've done.
Right.
Because God only knows the damage that I've created. Right? When you're doing stuff and it spreads out to families, and now I'm old enough to see the residual damage that comes from it, and I'm old enough to understand the like you could cop out all you want and say, if they're gonna get it from somebody else or whatever. And when you're doing things on a certain level, you're not dealing with people directly. You're removed from that.
Right.
So you don't see the hardship. You see the dudes in the cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're really disconnected from that life. But I was always aware because I grew up around it, and I was always aware. And I spent years on the corner, years standing on the corner with a mouth full of rocks, tongue numb, couldn't even talk. You used to keep them in your mouth so you could swallow them when the cops pull up. So I was very aware of the damage that it did, but it just becomes so normal to you that it just becomes a part of life. Smokers are gonna smoke, and that's just what it is. But now that I'm at this age now, one of my biggest fears, I felt like my karma would come back to me and one of my kids would be hooked on drugs. I always said, like, imagine, I remember being on the corner and parents would come down and they would say, have you seen my daughter? And we know your daughter just pulled off with Squeaky, and he's not a good dude.
Sure.
Like, and he's a pimp. Yeah. And your daughter's with him, and they just copped. And we're like, no, we ain't seen your daughter. But, and then they'll be riding around all night long, riding up and down Prairie Avenue. And they're looking for their daughter because they know their daughter be in that neighborhood. And it's like, damn, that's fucked up. That's crazy. And he's out there pimping the daughter. And we're talking about 18-year-old white chick in the hood. You know what I mean? So that was always my biggest fear. Like, is one of my kids going to be addicted to drugs because of
you've done?
Because of what I've done. Yeah. Thank God I don't think that's the case.
So what are you doing, or what do you plan on doing to kind of, you saying if you have the opportunity to give back and help others, what do you?
I'm doing this right here. I try to help as many people as I can help. I do all kinds of stuff. I do a turkey drive for Thanksgiving every year. We're gonna probably do 200 turkey baskets for Ocean Tides this year.
What's Ocean Tides?
Ocean Tides is a program where kids come out of training school. It's like an alternative to training school.
Okay.
So we do Thanksgiving baskets for them, for the families.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I'm organizing a drive right now for homeless people, but yeah, we'll just talk to you.
So it's very similar.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I grew up on Potters Avenue, and we used to have to go up to the church and on certain days, and we would get baskets of food.
Before Thanksgiving to help them cook.
No, this was just
like in general. I used to go to churches with my mom.
Yeah, so it was just a normal thing where I was from. We'd go up there, but I grew up in the free lunch era.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't know about that, but we go to Bridger Middle School every day. We would have to go to school in the summer when school was closed. We'll have to go to the park or go to school and get free lunch. That's how we ate.
Yeah.
Where we lived, my foster parents would be like, all right, it's 11 o'clock, go get go eat. And the whole neighborhood would come to the park. See, you guys don't know about free lunch. You heard about it though, right?
I heard about it for sure.
Yeah. So
when my sister was in school, she used to get free lunch.
Yeah, they don't have that
That's
no
way
more.
late, yeah.
But we would go to church and we would get like food baskets. And that was normal. That wasn't even like, right now, if you did that and your friends saw you, they would clown you.
Right.
But that was normal. Like, everybody did it.
What it was.
Yeah, like, I'm going to go get this food. I'll be back. Yeah, it was a different time back then. We had more humility. You know what I mean?
It's too much ego now.
It's too much ego, yeah.
I think it's, it's taken a while to weed them out, but I think we're around the right people. You have people out, our age have humility. I just think it's easier for egos to be built up through social media. Like a false sense of ego. Because back then, if you didn't have any money, you could walk around with like your brother's jeans or like, your brother's shirt, and you would get like the looks from that day. But nowadays, if I got no money and I borrow my boy's chain and whole outfit and post a picture on Instagram, now I got way more people like, it makes you feel like a certain level. It's
course.
easier to build yourself up and have that fake level of confidence.
Yeah.
And then in turn, reflect and project your insecurities on other people.
Yep.
But I think, I like to think that I surrounded myself with some solid people.
I'm telling you,
I think
man,
it's just harder to find nowadays.
It is harder to find. Everybody's really superficial, especially girls, man, because if you're a guy and you ain't got money, you ain't shit.
Ain't shit.
You ain't shit.
Ain't shit.
And it's like, all right, how old are you?
23.
You're 23. So these girls that don't want to mess with you because you don't really, I'm not saying you got shit or you don't got shit, but these girls that don't want to mess with you because they think you ain't got shit, when they're 30 and they got 100,000 miles on them, And they're gonna
the
be like,
block.
wow, he's a nice guy. Like
Yeah.
the money don't even matter to me no more. But after they done burnt you out,
Yeah.
you know, like oh no, like I want something different in life. But you was doing it for the money back then.
Right.
Now you ran through.
Wow.
Damn, I guess the only thing I got left is like, what's the if you know what's moving forward? What do you think? You know,
I don't know.
anything?
I don't know.
Just take it as it comes.
Take it as it comes.
Wow.
I might catch a deal leaving here. I might pick up my phone and it might be 10 phone calls. One of them might lead me down. I don't know.
Is there anything you really want to do? I'm not even talking about like real estate wise, like something like a book or like anything that you like.
So I have grown to be. I think I'm one of the biggest developers of multifamilies in Providence right now. Not the biggest ever. I'm not building 15-unit developments of multifamily homes. I'm doing 15 houses right now. For
sure.
And I absolutely love building houses in Providence.
Yeah.
And I love building houses in South Providence. The 5-unit development that I'm putting all over Instagram, I used to strip stolen cars in that lot when I was a kid. So to build houses there is full circle for me. And it's that to me, I think I would do it for free. Absolutely. So I'm looking
Just to build the neighborhood up.
just because I love being in the neighborhood where I'm from. I love being around there all day. I see people that I know from when I was a kid.
Right.
And there's no place I would rather be. I get so much joy, and I also make money being there, which is great.
Right.
But giving back to the community that I took so much from,
Right.
It's one of the best feelings ever. Yeah. And that's another way that I give back from a neighborhood that I took so much from.
Building up new homes and stuff.
Building up new homes, yeah. And I build quality homes. I overbuild them. And I don't have to do that. I'm not making a great return on them doing that, but I'm doing them because I want to put quality homes in those neighborhoods.
I have a last question.
Go ahead.
It was
Go
coming
ahead,
back
bro.
to me in the
No,
moment. There's
go
so much
ahead.
value from this.
This went way different than what we had. I could show you the script, bro. We just kind of went crazy. I love it.
Dope, though.
I like.
I love this. This is
There's a
probably my
lot
favorite
in
one
here.
we've
There's
done.
a lot of energy. It's super raw. Some of the people that I look up to in general, like even like like I've heard like podcasts or like just speeches of like guys like Kobe Bryant, guys like Tom Brady and stuff. And they mention things like like to be great, to be special, right? Like there's really almost like no time to have any friends, right? Like there's like what I'm saying, like Tom Brady used to say, he said like yo, like after games, like guys will want his jerseys, like guys are all buddy taking it. He's like nah, like when I'm locked in, I have no friends, right? And
That's such an understatement.
and I know just based off from what I'm taking away from your story, like I know that there was a point you were super paranoid. You may or may not have been burnt by people. Trust is something that you value a lot, and you're very
Let me just clarify one thing, right? I spent my whole entire life in the streets. I didn't get robbed till I got into real estate.
Wow.
So just put that out there.
Oh my gosh.
I never got robbed until I got into real estate.
Wow. So
I dealt with the shadiest people in the world, and everybody did straight business.
Right.
Other than when somebody told on me and put me in jail.
Right.
We won't say that, but I waited to get into a legitimate business to get robbed. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
But
that's karma.
That's what they say.
That's karma. All right, go ahead.
That's what they say though. The real, the real crooks are wearing suits.
What I
behind the tables
think
and
is
stuff.
I come from a place where we're going to force accountability on you. You rob me, you take something from me, you know what's coming behind that. So people are more reluctant to do it.
Right.
In this business, they rob you and they think you're not going to do shit to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's no accountability there.
So where you're at now, like even one thing I always bring, like when I talked to you the other day, and I always remember this, I was like, yo, what's your favorite thing about real estate? And you were like, yo, I don't even need to be talking to you right now if I don't want to.
That's right.
Right? Like I'm not tied to anything,
That's right.
I'm dealing with my properties and stuff.
That's right.
But like, no, keep on.
I'm rich beyond money because I don't have to be anywhere I don't want to be. I don't have to go to work and clock in and be next to this negative ass motherfucker for 8 hours, or listen to this dude, or you go to work and you're like, damn, here she goes. I got to be next to her for 8 hours, just ruining my vibe. I don't have to deal with anybody that I don't want to deal with.
Right.
Nobody. I don't got to do business with them. I don't got to talk to them. I don't got to answer their phone. I make my own lane.
Right.
And that right there is freedom.
And so, and another thing you said, I love that you said freedom, is like, you delegate, you do what you do best and delegate the rest, right? But my question is like, are you like, is there any room, how do I say it? Like, is everybody just a business partner? Like, do you try to have friends? Is it more just like, I know you're, and I respect like you, to be at a high level, you got to make sacrifices that a lot of people aren't, right? But like, what's your mindset on that, right? Like, should everybody just be a business partner? Is there time for friends? Do you have your family? I know you're at a different point in your life.
You'll get to this point where you'll be, and I'm not saying that I'm so successful, but you'll get to the point where you'll have your lane, or you'll be so successful, your friends are in that with you.
Right.
And you enjoy being around people that are doing what you're doing.
Right.
My friends that I hang out with are real estate people.
Right.
I have a couple friends that once in a while we'll hang out and, we'll drink and just do like brainless shit. Like, just to keep me young.
Right.
But for the most part, when I go to dinner with somebody or I hang out with somebody, it's a real estate guy. And I look at that as like, I'm talking business, I'm networking.
Right.
And I'd rather be talking about opening up, ventures or something than just sitting there talking about, just brain dead shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. So how do you decide, like, and this, I'm sorry for so many questions, but how do you decide who you're going to trust? Like, I know some people, it's like, oh, I'm going to trust this guy until he does me wrong. Some people are like, yo, this guy might have to prove himself to me. I got to understand their portfolio, right?
I work in a world with contracts.
Right.
I don't trust anybody. We put everything in language and contracts.
It.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
Facts.
When I trust somebody, I trust them with saying something to them,
right?
Hoping that they won't go back and repeat it,
right?
Or something like that, which is a big deal. You open up to people and you trust them with that. But if me and you are doing a real estate deal, I'm gonna tell you don't trust me, and I'm not telling you don't trust me because I'm gonna screw you over.
Right.
I don't want you to trust me. I don't want to trust you. Let's put it all in the contract.
Let's just put it in contract.
Put it in the contract. Why even complicate things?
Right.
And let's be transparent and let's do our due diligence and let's put it all in the contract and make sure that we don't have any opportunity but to do the right thing.
Right. So do you feel like making decisions like take, because what I'm taking away from it is like, with that, a lot of trust, like in my part of sales, right? Because I do solar and stuff, it's a lot of emotional, right? Like, we're making a different decision. We're building pain, building value, all this extra stuff.
You have ethics there too, right?
There's ethics. There's a lot of ethics there, but, the essence of it is like, I'm giving you this information, and I expect you to trust me, right? Like once you get it, but like with what you're doing, do you feel like making things emotional makes like the process harder or easier?
Emotion, that's a really, really good question for me because I'm too emotional. I get too emotional, and that's something that I've been working on for years. I try to take the emotion out of business. Emotion and business have no business being together. But I can't help it. I get, I don't get angry, but I do get pumped up.
Right.
And I do tend to have a little bit of an ego, and I know that's not a good thing.
Right.
So I try to keep myself leveled. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do try to remove emotion from business. So because you do sales.
Right.
Somebody tells you, no, and slams the door, you could very easily get emotional.
Right.
But that's going to get you nowhere.
Exactly.
Right? It's better to keep your cool and move on to the next person because that could ruin the next 10 door knocks.
Exactly, right.
You know what I mean? You could take that with you, and now you got that little chip on your shoulder, and you're like, fuck this whole shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're banging on the door. And now you're already, coming to them in the wrong manner. You know what I mean? So, but I do struggle with emotion. That's a really, really good thing, man. I struggle with emotion a lot in business. Yeah. I noticed I have some friends that are very, very rich, and I mean $40, $50 million. Never seen them mad. Never seen them raise their voice. Never seen them aggravated. And I look at that and I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
I want to be like that. Wow. These are some people that I've never seen them. They'll gossip about each other and, they'll break balls, but never seen them upset. Right. Never seen them aggravated. Never called me like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's you to get that kind of money, you have to be able to manage your emotions. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's fire. Oh my God.
You can hear me. I'm emotional just talking, so you can see how hard that is for me.
Right.
I think it's passion though.
There's
emotional intelligence, and that comes with like you never like sway too hard one way.
Yeah.
Like, you never get too mad. You never get too upset. But like, I think being passionate about something is different. Like I'm sure those same guys could whatever they do. Maybe it's about their family or their wives. They'll get passionate talking about that golf. And like you know what I mean? Obviously, you said you struggle with the emotional part, but I think in that specific instance, you're like very passionate about trying to work towards something. You're like, I'm trying to get like that. I get that. I think it's different than getting too angry or too upset.
For sure. But you know better than anybody, you got to remove emotion from the business.
Right.
Yeah, you got to maintain your your cadence.
Right now, I think that was perfect. You confirmed it. And recently, we had somebody on the podcast that spoke about. It's funny because, like, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't really know much. You got to kind of learn more.
Sure.
But like, I mean, this is a shell shock for me and Joy because we're used to like, all right, these super successful people. They're, you know, sometimes maybe society makes us think like, oh, you know, you gotta be this specific type of person to succeed. But what would you like? Somebody recently told us like, hey, they have no routine. Like this person's a millionaire. They were like, you know, they don't really have a routine. They just wake up, you know, they just do what they want or whatever. And I, you know, I don't know how much of that I actually believe. But for you, you know, obviously, like, you know, you don't read as much, so you're not waking up at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. to read a book
But I
or
have
whatever.
a routine though.
Right? Yeah. So what is your routine exactly?
I
right.
get up in the morning 5:30. I try to do like a little treadmill walk. Have breakfast same time every day. Have the same breakfast every day.
What's your breakfast?
6 eggs and
Six eggs?
6 eggs and 1 piece of bread. That's it. Same every single day for the last 10 years.
That's fine. Ketchup, hot sauce?
Nope, just
nothing.
dry as shit. 6 eggs and 1 piece of bread.
Fire,
My
dude.
wife is like, "What the hell, man?"
What's wrong with you?
My wife says that that's some kind of a genius trait that I have. That I eat the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't have any routine because
Right.
I don't know where I'm going to be every day.
Right. But that's like
But you,
kickstart
work,
your
you start
day.
working.
Right.
Yeah,
that
but
just puts you right into work mode.
But even when and this is important, even when I have nowhere to be, I'm out of the house.
Right.
I'm in the streets.
Right.
I am made for the streets. To do real estate, you have to be. You're not going to do it from an office. You're not
Right.
going to do it from a computer. Computer's a big part of it, but you need to be active. You need to have motion. You need
To
to
your
be
point, you
out
probably,
there.
you probably don't like the computer.
I do spreadsheets and stuff like that, and yeah, so it is a big part of my life. But no, I'm not just on the computer all day. And a lot of people think you can do this job from a computer, especially the younger generation. You know, just skip tracing and shit. But you need to be out there. You need to be in the field.
So you're good with numbers though, right? Like words and stuff a little bit. Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm
you
just
said-
I'm very organized and I keep track of everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
But
yeah.
even like making a spreadsheet, you don't have difficulty with that.
Yeah.
It gets hot in here.
Yeah. And that's powerful too that you say you're very organized and stuff because, you know, I mean, I'm always ready to get vulnerable. I mean, I could talk about all the things that I do right, but I know organization. I'm not as organized as I need to be. And like just hearing you talk just makes me realize, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just those, you know, being organized, working at a high level, being disciplined, having the routine and staying consistent, right? Like, you know, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like the person that gets started on that and fails forward for 10 years is going to beat the guy that reads for the next 10 years trying to figure out when to
Absolutely.
get started, when's the right time.
For sure.
Why haven't I done it?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I took away a lot from everything that we covered.
That dude is not going anywhere.
No.
That guy that's starting the gym on Monday is not happening. You know that
Right.
Monday guy? I'm gonna start my diet on Monday. Go to the gym right now.
Right.
Start today.
Yeah.
You know, on Monday I'm gonna get focused. Monday. That Monday guy is shut
Right.
up. You're gonna Monday yourself to death your whole life.
Right.
You know, and it's never gonna get you anywhere.
When I'm ready.
And I know you talked about like being good with money, saving, you know, like kind of back in the day with the cash, you know, it was like just hurt more to give away. But like to get to your level, I know people got to take a lot of risk, right? So like, how do you view risk, right? Like with money, like when do you decide like, hey, I don't care if I lose all this money?
So would you risk your life for $1,000
Absolutely not.
every day of your life?
Nope.
There you go. And that's where I come from.
Right.
I come from risk.
Wow.
I come from risking my life for a point or 2 points or 3 points or $500 and risking my life every single day. I don't know if I'm going to make it home today.
Wow.
So what is losing 10,000? What is losing 20? It hurts. It stings. But 22 years stings. A lot worse.
Right.
You know? And it's like, damn, man, I tried to make this play and now I'm washed. Wow. And you know, and all I did was bang a right on the wrong street.
Oh my God.
And I was making $1,000 on this play.
Yeah.
So I come from risk.
Wow.
That's my whole life.
Everything is shallow. in
When I was a
comparison.
kid, I was a car thief. It was all risk.
Yeah.
That's when I was from the age of
Right.
12 years old till that's what put me in training school twice, so stealing cars.
Wow.
I came home on a weekend pass and stole a car. Went back. I was already in training school, and I came home on a weekend pass, and they sent me back.
Wow. Do you feel like you weren't scared? Like, when you were young, like, it wasn't really
No
like...
fear.
You just...
No fear when I was young.
Wow.
Let me tell you something people don't understand about car thieves. This is totally left field. I don't care what level you're selling drugs. I don't care if you're a fucking hitman. There's no crazier life than a car thief.
Wow.
Because every day you're breaking into cars, people are chasing you, cops are chasing you. You're nothing but hectic chaos just going on 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah, I stole a lot of cars when I was a kid. And that's something I'm very, very sorry for because This was before insurance. People didn't have insurance. So if you took somebody's car, that was just a wash. That was just a loss. So I'm very sorry for that. I feel like I didn't know any better. So, it's tough to hold me accountable for that. But if I could give back those cars that I took, I promise you I would do it in a second. I wouldn't even hesitate. But I didn't know any better, and I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
And I was trying to take care of myself, and I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, no idea.
Wow.
I'm good, bro. I mean, there's so much more I want to talk about, but
Right.
in terms of keeping it,
We got to get Walt back
punctual.
on next year.
Yeah,
I'm ready for
next
that.
year I'll be able to open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Whenever you, bro. This was like I said.
This was a perfect one.
I told him when we were game planning. I was like, bro, this is gonna be some shit. We just gotta pivot. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna bring something up, and we're just gonna build on it.
Right,
So
you
I
make
think
sure
that's
it stays
exactly what
organic.
happened. This might be my favorite one.
No,
This
for
was super
sure.
fun. Like I said, I didn't know none of this shit. Like I knew like a little bit about you and your real estate game. I knew a little bit about like the training school stuff, but
This is my first time ever being comfortable with, never mind, because I don't have these conversations with people at all.
Right.
Not even my family, nobody.
Right. Wow.
So never mind on like a podcast or any type of a forum like this. This is my first time ever opening up about any of this stuff. Like I said, you become so
Sheltered. You're like-
sheltered,
yeah.
and you have to just go so deep, and you have to just conceal everything, like
Right.
everything. I used to have a whole separate car that I wouldn't even bring home. I would go park my car and then drive this little Honda Accord home. Because I didn't want nobody driving by seeing my car at my house, because I didn't want nobody to know where I lived. Wow. I come from an era of home invasions. Home invasions were big.
Right. Wow.
My brother, they tied my brother and his family up. They robbed my brother. Put the little baby in the bathroom, tied him up, robbed him.
Oh my God.
That was a very, very real reality for us.
Wow.
They tried to get in my house one time. My wife caught him. He took off running, but that was the era that I come from. If you were known to do shit, they would come. They would come. They would come into your crib.
Yeah.
Even right now, they will. If they think you got to watch or something, they'll lay you down for 20. You know what I mean? Got 10,000 in your house. They're gonna come and somebody's gonna be at your door.
and that's legit money too. And that's you know what I mean. I think that's just the problem with social media nowadays. Is no matter what you're doing, if you people think you got money, they'll make a.
Come get me now. We're gonna have to go to the bank.
Right.
You're gonna take me to the bank. So you'll be wasting your time. I'll give you my watch. You can take that. But other than that, I ain't got nothing for you, man. This is waste your time with me.
Right.
But
my fault. I'm gonna say something. This is my last one. I don't even want to keep going on a lot of tangents. Every time we talk, I just get another great question. But like, would you say, just to keep this one simple, like, would you say as a young guy our age, like, does it make more sense to like, obviously there's a lot of girls, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I know you had a family at a young age and stuff, and a bunch of stuff. Like, does it make more sense to like just become successful before we even consider any like that, or is it like having like a woman you could trust actually good for business?
I think some men need the women.
Right.
And so me, I needed the stability of a woman. Some men do, some men don't. Some men, it's kind of something you might want to ask yourself.
How do you mean? Like just having somebody like to comfort
Right.
you, or
Like for you,
No, I
what?
needed a woman to tell me, get your ass home.
Right.
Like,
Facts.
you're coming
or to
home.
check you.
Right.
Yeah, to say, because if I didn't, I would have been crashing out a lot.
Right. Right. That's
So
facts.
I needed a woman to kind of keep me grounded, and that is another really, really important thing. And that's another reason why I made it to where I did, because I was always a family man. I never was out in no clubs doing stupid shit. I was always do my business, go home, never riding around late night. I was more of an early morning dude. I'll come see you in the morning. I'll call you at 6 in the morning. I will not fuck with you at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
None of that.
So when you owned the club, you never were in the club?
Oh, no,
during that
I
time?
was. Yeah, but I was working.
But it was like, you were building, it wasn't just like how people go out to waste money and
No,
shit.
no.
Right.
When I owned the club, I was there working, and yeah, I was working, yeah.
Right,
But I
right.
wasn't like there partying and fraternizing.
Right. And
I
even
hated
then,
it.
like,
I hated it. It wasn't.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, like you said, it was
wasn't
one of
for
the
me.
worst ones
I
for
don't
you.
like being out late.
Yeah, I hate that shit too.
Yeah, I don't like being out late. Even with this, what you guys do right here, I don't know how many podcasts do you guys do with this?
Right.
How many?
This is our 16th episode.
And how many months?
And it's actually,
It was
it's about to be
July
like a year and a
2024,
half.
so it's been like about
A year and 3 months.
14 months.
So you're doing one every 2 months.
We're doing at this point we're doing one a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
one a month. All right. You got to turn them out. You just got to
Yeah.
like
It's
a
tough.
machine. I know it's
yeah.
tough to find interesting people. That's the
Right.
problem.
It's,
Long
it's,
Island.
it's that, but it's also more like just the workflow and just making
Right.
sure. We took like a 4-month break.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
not for nothing, I do all the editing, I do all the shooting.
But this is so competitive now. In order for you to keep up with the other guys that are doing it, you gotta and you got to be on the grind for the next person that nobody has.
Right.
No, no, that's true.
There's a lot of, but there's a lot of interesting people in Rhode Island that
There's a lot, but this is and to your point. This is not my top priority. My top priority is building out the other business.
Yeah. What is the other business?
It's like a video production company.
Oh, video production. Yeah.
So like that.
But this
that's
goes
where
hand in hand. That complements
it
that.
does. But for me, I'm like I'm really focused on building that because that's where. And not that this wouldn't build a team out, but I'm at a point that with the production company where I can start feeding other people and I'm taking bigger jobs and helping clients. So like, not that. Like to your point, I'm seeing that day to day.
Yeah.
Like 6 months ago, I wasn't doing the work I'm doing now with the video company.
Yeah.
And so we're doing this once a month because like it's sustainable.
Yeah.
And like we should probably look into hiring an editor, hiring someone to shoot for us because at the time being like it's a lot for me to do all of that and this and then everything else.
Yeah.
And the reason we stopped for 4 months is because we were doing 2-3 a month, and I'm like, bro, I can't fucking keep up.
I think if I had to, and I'm totally off base by saying this, but I think that you should focus more energy on getting the next interesting person before he's the interesting person
On somebody else's podcast.
No.
Oh, you mean before they catch a wave?
before they catch a wave. Like see what's coming up next.
See, we're on the opposite time. We're trying to find people with bigger platforms now, so that when we do find somebody like that, we can give them a light.
Yeah. So bring it over to them.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So like we got 250 followers on Instagram and like 70 subs on YouTube. That's nothing.
Yep.
Our point is we're bringing people like you have a good following, and the last like 4 or 5 people we've brought on have all had substantial followings on social media.
Yep.
In
Gotcha.
hopes that they build us up.
Yes.
So that when we find the next guy or
Yes.
somebody who's doing cool shit who does not have a following,
Yes.
our following translates to them.
Sure,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the short term goal is to get people who
You're using them to
already-
build your platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like a give and pull because I would love to have a conversation with that person, but it's like, damn, we can't really maximize our platform for you. Not you specifically, but that person.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is a grind though.
Yeah.
This is a grind.
Yeah.
To build this up right now, how many podcasts? We got like 500,000 podcasts in the United States.
Out. So 500,000, 10% of those make it 10 episodes.
10% of those make it 10 episodes.
10 episodes, and 10% of those make it to 20.
Yep.
So once you get to 20 episodes, you're top like 5% or 3, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, we're at 16 in a year and change, but like
Who's your biggest competition?
out here,
Yeah.
I mean, the top dogs out here would be like Club Ambition.
Yep.
They probably got the #1 podcast in Rhode Island. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Me and him go back and forth all the time.
He's probably the #1.
Yep.
It's not. I mean, I don't look at it as a competition because I don't know. I like to collaborate.
Healthy
with people.
competition.
Yeah. So, but like in terms of the podcast space in Rhode Island, he's running the game.
Yeah.
Outside of him, I don't really take. Not that I don't take anybody else seriously, but like, why would I look at #2 and 3 for #1s? You know what I'm saying?
So Rhode Island to me is full of a lot of interesting people, and you see what he did. He brought the chief of police on of Providence. You watch
But
that?
he's built before the podcast. He already had 250,000 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Doing album reviews, like, and he just transferred that over to like a radio show podcast.
Yeah.
And we have like a decent following, but we don't have 300,000 on YouTube to just be like, yo, we're gonna start a podcast, come fuck with us.
Yeah, he already had that.
So
that
I mean,
motion.
no takeaway, but he spent 10 years building
Yeah.
that shit up in high school.
Yeah.
So like he's got a lot more skin in the game than we do. But
Yeah.
in terms of like who's running shit, like I would give it to him.
Yeah. That's dope.
And we've talked. I went to the same high school as him, and one of our guests like 2 episodes ago is his artist. Like he manages them. So like it's a similar network, but
You should get like you can edit this off after, but
For sure.
You should get like Vinny Paz. You know Vinny Paz?
I know the name.
Like a crash out.
is he like Italian?
Yeah, the boxer.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I know the name.
he'll crash out on here. He'll let it go. I'm telling you.
You
Right.
talking about just for like the sake of him being interesting?
Just clicks. Just,
Right.
just give
Being
streams.
strategic with it.
Yeah, just get him on here and ask him about his relationship with Mike Tyson, and he fought this person and that person. He's just all over the place, that guy, and he's still around. And he'll come and he'll sit down and do a podcast with you.
For sure.
And he probably won't even charge you because he's still chasing that limelight.
Right.
But Rhode Island is full of so many interesting characters that you could get, and you'll open up so many people would see him and say, "Oh shit!" You'd get so much recognition for that.
Yeah.
You do a podcast with somebody like him, you may even make it to the news. Like Vinny Paz goes on and says something,
Major, yeah.
because they made a movie. You ever see the movie about him?
No.
They made a movie about him. Yeah.
What's it called?
Ooh.
Nah. I'll look it up.
It's a good movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't even think of the guy that plays him, but dope movie though. Yeah. but it's all filmed in Providence.
Lead for this.
Lead for this.
Oh, they just dropped this.
No, that's been out.
I know this dude. Yeah. Oh, what the fuck's his name?
Yeah, I can't think of his name. He's a good actor.
Hey, he's in that War Dog movie with
Yes, the
yeah.
Water. Watch that movie, man,
Yeah.
and then see if you can find Vinny Paz. He's floating around here.
Say no more.
The dude had a fucking a penis surgery before anybody.
Oh, like
Wow.
like
Really?
Yeah, back
Wow.
Hey, it was the talk of the state, man.
Wow.
Hey,
Hey,
first
yeah.
little bit of money he got, man, he made his dick bigger.
damn.
Wow, that
bro.
shit-
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's
he's a wild dude, man.
Oh
The movie doesn't do him any justice.
I believe it
I saw when I owned my club, he would come into the club and we would have to put the waitresses in the back.
because he would tweak out.
He was just the dude just had no chill, man. He'll grab a girl and be like, "You're coming with me."
Wow.
He's from a different time, bro. He's from a
Right.
different time.
Yeah.
But he's a neighborhood guy. We all knew him in the neighborhood growing up, and you know he was a very established boxer. And Rhode Island is full of so many people like that you could get and
Yeah.
bring it, you know. And I can guarantee you, he will just crash the hell out.
Nah, we're building it, we're working it, but like I said, we're trying to make it so like we don't take a break again and then stop doing shit. I want it to be, I don't know, we got to put a little more effort into it on that end.
But you get people like him, and you're gonna appeal to a whole different audience.
You're gonna appeal to a whole different audience.
Yeah.
Alone. We've never had everybody we've had has been in like our network for the most part, like our age, kind of.
Yeah.
And people, I think, like I know people like when I recorded like Kyle's, your and Kyle's episode, people stood up and like, oh, you know Kyle? I'm like, I don't know the guy, but like he's just I'm recording for
Yeah.
him. But like people my age know you, they know Kyle, just because you know, in terms of real estate, everyone's trying to, like you said, everyone's trying to get into solar,
Yeah.
trying to get into real estate. And I think whether they stay in the game or not, when they get into that mode of like, oh, I want to be in real estate, they follow you, they follow Kyle,
Yeah.
they follow a certain few people.
Yeah.
And so
I think I'm known for no gatekeeping. I just put everything out there.
yeah, but yeah, I think like you guys are all at the top in Rhode Island. You guys are all kind of associated a little
Yeah,
bit.
Kyle is very politically correct. He's very structured. You won't catch him saying anything he's not supposed to say. He stays on topic.
He curses a little bit.
He correct, but he does that deliberately. That
Yeah.
adds to his like I'm keeping it real type of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's all persona, man. Believe me, he's doing that on purpose. He's doing that to try to be that like pushy motivational speaker type of dude.
I bet.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
I liked that vibe when the first time I seen y'all record. Yeah.
But you know, I go on podcasts with guys like Kyle, and they don't want to talk about none of this street shit.
Right.
They want to. If I started talking about this with Kyle will get up and walk out. He wouldn't even want to be associated with no. You know
Part
what I
of the
mean?
image, I get
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I lived a whole life before real estate.
Right.
A whole entire life.
Yeah.
Nah,
she
but I
do.
think like it's also I told you like we're young enough. We're like the people that, and we're gonna just keep building our audience. But we're young enough for like a lot of the people that watch us now and who we're talking to are like, we're not established.
Yeah.
I know he does solar now. I do the video stuff now. But in 5 years, I could be doing something completely different. He
Right.
could be doing something like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
even you could be not that you couldn't, but like we're at a point where it's like everybody's watching this shit. We don't got shit figured out.
All three of our phones could ring tonight, and it'll change the trajectory of your life.
Exactly.
You just don't know.
But you've been doing this shit damn near double the amount of time we've been doing it. So my point is that like the life that you've lived, I'm sure the people we're watching are maybe they're not living the same life, but they're lost. Or they're like
Yeah.
know people in that life, or like they don't like what they're doing, they don't like their job, they don't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we don't, not that we don't have an image to uphold, but it's more so like the people we're talking to is a different audience.
I get it, 100%.
Yeah, they're not looking at us as like these guys are polished and they got to maintain that image. It's like nah, bro. Like the podcast is for, you know, what we got to bring it on for. So,
I feel you.
That's all I got.
Nah, man.
I appreciate
really
this,
appreciate
bro.
you being
This
here,
is
man.
better than I thought it was gonna
I
be.
had fun, man.
No, I had
really
this
good.
is
First
like,
time I got to just be myself.
Wow,
sure.
I feel blessed that,
Nah,
that
thank you,
to
brother.
that we got to share the space with you.
I don't
like that.
usually watch the episodes. I'm gonna probably watch this one.
Right, yeah.
Because I edit them
Take
and then
out
I'm
that
like,
coffin.
yo, nah, man. Anything you want to leave? Any words?
No, I'm cool. I'm good.
Let's go.
Shit,
Let's
I'm
go.
good.
A lot
I
of
appreciate you
value.
guys having me.
AD, go ahead. You know the outro.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, guys. Again, like I said, if you didn't take any notes, go back, take some more notes. I feel blessed that we got to just take in the value from just taking all the value and get to the next level. Again, comment down below how this made you felt. Comment down below, your favorite clip, your favorite nugget, your favorite story. If you want to find him on Instagram, right? It's Property Plug. Right?
Property plug. Yep. Property _plug.
If you want to find one on Instagram, it's Property Plug. Joey, where do they find you?
Nah, y'all know at damn Joey __, but stop bullshitting. Take it away.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Nah, I mean, I'm shell shocked, man, because like for me, it was like to go from just like I was watching your stuff on Instagram, like a lot of people do for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like, well, yo, now this guy's doing impossible. Yo, 5 houses in South Prov, this is crazy, right? It's so just to be able to connect with you and have you on the podcast, I'm nothing but grateful. Guys, this was a banger episode, my favorite episode by far. So if you were here before, no shade, but like, comment, share, and subscribe. Without further ado, guys, like regardless of whether you like the podcast or not, right? You stayed to the end, you listened, so look forward to the next episode.
Yo, we messed it up every time,
Right.
bro. Oh my God, whether you loved us or you hated us, we made you listen, bro.
That's
Peace
dope.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.
She said, you ain't no good, but you feel so good. She said, what if I could, but I gotta leave you.